Wagwan family tree, welcome to Movement Decoded. Today we're going to be playing with shoulder opening and back bend, but with a slightly different perspective, which can possibly maybe eventually culminate into something like this. But the skills that we're going to do to break this down become such a great process in and of itself in building strength and awareness and opening around the chest and its relationship to the shoulders. So we're going to go through a little bit of some exercises in a warm-up that just build us up into an inversion, and then we're just really going to go into a really cool way of just opening up into the shoulders. It's not the best drill in the world. It's not the only drill in the world, but some people might find it fun and interesting and different. So let's roll with it. Let's do a little bit of a skill-specific warm-up. If you're already warm, you can feel free to do this, which will help activate into what we're going to build up into, or you can just skip the steps. So first thing we're going to do, if we are a little bit colder, is come into kind of this very rogue pigeon kind of posture. One knee coming forwards. We're just extending this leg back. We're going to do a quick scissor switch to the other side and just folding over. So we lift and just let your hands kind of reach in any direction and just follow any lines of stretching. You can play with the hands supporting behind the back. You can play with out the hands. Your choice here. Maybe you just kind of want to hold into a stretch for a moment. Feels nice around the hips. Just let it feel right for the body. Don't worry about alignment per se. And just feel a little bit of heat and space being created around the hips, but also a little bit of strength through the hip flexors. Like so. And then we're going to come into something I like to call Wednesday Adams. Going to be in our pike position here. Toes either active, dorsiflexed, pointed, or flanked, your choice. Fingertips come towards the ground. Take a deep breath in. Round through the back, slide the right foot back, pluck the thigh in towards the chest. We hold here, we use this compression. Wednesday Adams here with thing. Walking forwards without the heel touching the floor. How far forwards can you let the hands go? Fight for the threshold without the heel touching for 3, 2, and release down, massage out if you need to. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold. And I guess all of a sudden this video is now a guided walkthrough. It wasn't supposed to be, but we're here now, so we might as well do both sides. Take a deep breath in. Round through the back, slide the left leg back, pluck the thigh in towards the chest. It might be about this high, that's okay. Just lift as high as you can. And then how far forwards can you get your hands without the heel touching the floor? So you just gotta fight for it. Meet your threshold, meet your bite point for 3, 2, and release. Inhale. Exhale, fold. And we'll draw out of there. What we got next? Working around the shoulders now. So we're gonna be in a squat position and just alternate a placement of the hand towards the floor. Fingers spread nice and wide and try to squeeze the floor with the fingerprints. And all we're going to do is explore around this sort of 360 field through length, through depth, and through direction of placing one hand on the ground, bringing the shoulder over the wrist, and then pushing the ground away, lifting up through the hips, and coming back down to reset. And just pick any direction. Just building this push into the shoulder blade and retracing back down. You can alternate the hands each time, shoulder over the wrist, trying to lift the hips as high as you can. Come back down. And we can go any reach, any distance. You don't have to copy me on this one. You can hold for as long as you want to, but we're trying to get the shoulder over the wrist and the hips as high as they can go. Like so, you can do that for as long as you want to as well, for as long as you feel like you want to get warm. Next one to come into Dolphin position. The hands are at shoulder width distance. God, I went really Bristolian there. Hands are shoulder width distance. Hands in line with the elbows, elbows in line with the shoulders, like so. And try to keep this placement here, which is going to keep us isolated around the serratus anterior, the shoulders, and the opening of the shoulders. And what we're going to do is find kind of like a downward facing dog with the legs. Send the nose forwards, tap the nose down, lift back up, push. We'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just pushing through the elbows. Again, we're just trying to activate a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And the last thing that we're going to do here is our puppy pose. So, hips above the knees, walking the hands a little bit further forwards. Hands can be a bit wider than the shoulders. Taking a breath in. And as we exhale, the chest melts down. I'm trying to keep the hips above the knees somewhat. The chest doesn't have to touch the floor. Mine doesn't. Maybe yours does. The chin, if it feels uncomfortable on the floor. Forehead can meet the floor. Once we're in the position, we have to think about wrapping the outer armpits, hugging them down towards the floor, and actively using the muscles around the shoulders and the armpits to create that wrap, wrap, wrap. Chest sinking down, squeeze in, breathe easy. For 3, 2, and easing out. And that's a little bit of our activation. So we're going to play with building up into really cool shoulder stretch now. So you're going to need a wall space for this one. If you're a bit stifled in the room or house maybe, feel free to just go on the back of the door or the closed door. Make sure it is closed so you don't fall for it. And we're going to first build up into our shoulder opener and our T-spine opener with a headstand. And a headstand variation, we're actually lifting into a forearm stand using the support of the wall. The focus of this isn't about trying to hold the shape necessarily without the wall. It's about using the wall to leverage the stretch. The accessory to it can be quite a cool inversion eventually. The placement of the body here, I'm going to come closer, is, imagine the floor is here, as you can see. I'm interlacing the fingers, and then, let me get even closer. From that interlace of the fingers, creating a knuckle shape here, but the bottom pinky, whichever way is your habitual way of crossing, the bottom pinky is going to tuck into the palm, like so, and then we cross over again. So now what we're doing is resting on the fleshy part of our hand here. So we get to rest there. So instead of the pinky underneath, which crushes the knuckles a little bit, we're going to take that lowest pinky and put it in the middle, a little bit like this, little thing here, and we rest on the fleshy part of the hand. Elbows, nice and close. So with the hands squeezed here, we're going to place the back of the head into the wrists and the forearms to prep for the lift. So from here, knuckles are about 30 centimeters away from the wall, creating that squeeze of the hands. Elbows not too wide. The closer they are within reason, or the more within shoulder width distance, the more stable everything's going to become. So about 30 centimeters away from the wall. Bring my head down, tuck the toes, tiptoe the toes uncomfortably close to the face. So keep tiptoe. Notice my hips are starting to stack above my forearms now, which let me bring one foot up, maybe a little hop here. I spot the wall with my feet. So I'm really using the wall now for support. Heels nice and close towards the bum. We're going to try and just do lift-offs first. So I'm pressing my forearms down, lifting my head off the floor, shrugging the shoulders towards the ears, and coming back down. Can you find maybe 2 sets of 5, or a set of 10, or just however many you want to do, like so. And we're building this real cool strength around the shoulder blades, creating this elevation and depression. So already there's so much intelligence happening around the shoulder blades. Once you're comfortable with that, we can take it on to the next step. Exactly the same build-up. This is where the real juicy stretch in the shoulders and the chest comes into play now. So same placement here. Tiptoe in, find your headstand, feet on the wall. And then from here, as I lift and push, two things happening here. Hips towards the wall and push your nose towards the middle of the room. And there we push, we find the elevation. Hips are trying to touch the wall. You don't have to touch, but sending that direction. And chest and nose towards the middle. Oh, my necklace is pushing towards the middle. And then holding here. If we want to take this a little bit further, maybe we bring our toes onto the wall. If you push more into the forearms, maybe you can start to teeter, press into the shoulders, and see if your feet can float away from the wall, but still sending the hips towards the wall. And that is such a potent, such a potent stretch and strength builder around the shoulders and the back. So we can try that. And if you get comfortable with that, do exactly the same thing, but take it into the middle of the room. If you're scared of going over, just find some roly-polies, get some pillows down behind you, maybe a duvet, or if you're doing it on grass, and you're just going to find yourself doing roly-polies out, or just twisting your body and saving it. So if I'm doing it without the wall, I can't even lift up through. If I'm trying to lift, I either come down, which that wasn't on purpose, like I could have made it out to be, I just fell, or I can come up, try to push up, I lose balance, and I twist out. I'm genuinely losing balance there. I'll try and demonstrate one where I'm actually going over. So, same thing here, same wrap, pretend I'm using the wall, push up through, headstand. I just pretend that the wall is behind me. So as I push up, my feet send back, my nose towards the middle, I'm opening through the chest. I lose balance, just rotate out, and be fine. Let your body twist to fall out. And instead of going over into the crab, but if you have the mobility for that, now we can use the wall to find strength. So there's a little something for everyone. If you're really tight, twist out like that, because I'm really tight. If you're a bit more wibbly wobbly in the shoulders, maybe you crab out, or try not to, and just use the wall to really refine the strength through the body. So if we feel comfortable with that, then maybe we can take the exact same drill, but with a handstand. We don't have to do the head lifts on this one, because we're already pushing through the shoulders to hold a handstand. The further away your hands are from the wall, the more the more depth we're going to create into the shoulder flexion and the opening of the chest, because we're trying to seek our hips towards the wall while the chest and the nose pushes the opposite direction. So options to find your handstand, bend into the legs, the same prep, push into the shoulders, tuck the chin, push the nose towards the middle, hips towards the wall, and then I can kind of play with maybe seeing if I can hold a little bit, and I'm just hanging out in that hollowback handstand shape. And then exactly the same thing, if you feel like you want to progress away from the wall, then do so. If you feel like you're scared to commit to it without the wall, I also have another video of learning how to fall safely from a handstand as well, handstand specifically, or continue to use the wall, because this is going to give a lovely potent stretch into the shoulders. So just to outro this, two things that we're really exploring in this video. If you want to, you can use it as an interesting shoulder flexion and T-spine extension, strengthener and stretch. Or it can be a cool variation of a skill, such as an inversion, a headstand, a forearm stand, or a handstand. So wherever you want to take it, wherever you want to place your intention, happy exploring, happy diving. Hope you enjoyed. Any feedback, always welcomed. If If you want to synergize, keep this co-created space, just subscribe to your boy and all the rest. And love, 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 family, easy.